I'm drawing blank. I don't know what to think. All over the place. I don't know what to think. I'm so over it. Oh, I hate it. I give up. I was up for months, but I just spent the whole time waiting. What the fuck? I was feeling so bummed. Had to block out so much hatred. Had my headphones on. Was it just my song on my own vibrating?
All right, hello and welcome to AVNJ's Adventures Upstate New York. Yes, that's right, I'm spending the week in upstate New York. I'm busy during the days doing other things, but I figured at night record an AVNJ's Adventures, go fishing, do all the fun stuff. So I have arrived at my first spot. We're going to be trying to catch long-nosed sucker. Long-nosed sucker are closely related to white sucker, which are all over New Jersey, but they have a longer nose, a more, subterminal mouth and all that. They're really pretty. They get incredibly pretty in spawning season. They're normally in deeper, larger rivers, but right now in the spring, they've come up into the creeks, so I actually have a chance to catch them. My friend was here 2 days ago and caught one, so hopefully I should have a decent chance of catching them. He said it'd be good for netting, so hoping for the best. Side note, I saw more deer tonight than I think I've seen humans today. It was like a damn obstacle course. It's a nice road. It's like a well-paved highway road to get here. And oh my God, there were so many deer. I was just going 30 miles under and having to swerve a bit because there were just deer everywhere and they had no concept of running away from it. Anyways, let's get in the creek. Okay, sorry the falls is loud. I'm trying to be close to the camera. This is already so much shallower than I expected. That's the full creek right there, the flow of it. It's just this nice waterfall here. I'll bet there's a bunch of suckers at the bottom of the pool there. Not unexpectedly, the first fish is a black-nosed dace. That is being an escape artist right now. Black-nosed dace. There's a nice deep pool here, but oh, I do see some fish in it actually. Okay, I haven't seen a sucker. I've just seen big crayfish, but maybe I'll see a sucker. Speaking of the big crayfish, there he be. Our second fish looks to be a cyprinella of some variety. Not particularly interesting. Having trouble finding any sort of sucker habitat. I may just have to blindly net through pools. We'll see. All right, well, I got a long nose. At least that's something. And you're not gonna be able to hear me, but I'll zoom in on it. I see a sculpin sitting right under the falls here. Sculpin. And that right there, directly in the light. Can't really zoom in for you, I'll try. Right there. That is a long-nosed sucker. Now I just gotta get him in the net. Alright, so I had been seeing some red in the water, so I'm glad to clarify that those are some spawning common shiner. His tubercles on his face even rub my hand the wrong way a little bit. I'm trying to get these long nose, but it is a task. My God, they do not like to be caught. So, and there's not a ton of them. So I'm just kind of going to go up and down the stream it seems like the edge of pools is where they like to chill. So I'm just going to proceed up and down and just hit the same spots over and over until I manage to convince one into the net, I guess. Well, creek chub, at least we add another species to the discography. I've been wandering up and down trying to catch a sucker, and I'll be honest, I'm losing hope. It is pretty damn difficult. The only spots that they're in are at the bottom of deep pools and fast riffles and everything. It's quite difficult. I'm not really sure what I can do. This is real close to where I'm staying, so I can come back another night, assuming I get other things. But I kind of want to go to bed tonight. It's 2 a.m. I have to wake up at 6 tomorrow, so I'm already dooming myself to a couple hours of sleep, but I'd like to not make it zero sleep. So I'll give it a little bit longer, hit each pool once more, and if not, we'll come up with a backup plan to get them in the future. Well, I was seeing a bunch of little speckled guys, and I was wondering if they were maybe trout perch, which would be quite cool, but it appears they are just regular trout, which is unfortunate. Now, right here is the only place where I have veritably seen a long-nosed sucker tonight. I've seen other suckers, but I'm not 100% sure that they were long-nosed. There are white sucker in here as well. But right here at the base of this tree is where I've actually seen a sucker that I'm pretty sure was a long-nosed. So I've been away from this spot for 30 minutes. Hopefully they have come back out of hiding. And I'll have one more swing at a couple of them before I end my night sad. check him out. It's a guy, probably a northern two-line. I'll catch him real quick and take a picture, but that would be my assumption. I know they have cool salamanders here, but I don't think they have that different salamanders. All right, there's one there. A flass. Catching a sucker in these conditions is pretty freaking difficult, but you can see him right there at the very least. Well, add golden shiner to the list of species for the night. I've seen probably everything in this creek except for suckers. I've even seen trout. Ah, well. Well, for a solid 2 seconds, I thought I had a sucker, and a sucker with an especially long nose. Alas, it's a cutlet minnow. Pain. All right, well, I gave it my best shot for a pretty good amount of time. I gotta go to sleep so I can get up tomorrow. Maybe I'll route back to this creek when I'm heading back towards New Jersey, or maybe I'll go in the next 2 days if I get all the rest of my targets, which seems unlikely. My friends had told me that it should be easy. I should have a very simple time. I think this is a classic case of people who fish with rods don't realize how hard it is to catch some bigger game species with a dip net. So they're like, oh yeah, it's gonna be real easy. I got a long nose sucker real quick. You'll get a long nose sucker real quick. Meanwhile, I barely saw one the whole time, and the ones I did were just absolutely impossible. Oh well. The other thing is, oh my God, I think I did an AVNJ's Adventures last year in the middle of May, coming from Florida up to New Jersey. And I remember saying in it, I was being attacked by bugs. And I guess I didn't learn my lesson because it is the middle of May again, and every bug in the nearby area has decided that I am the moon and they will use me to orient themselves and thus run into my face over and over again. I must have just gotten smacked in the face by so many crane flies and mayflies and stone flies. It was just constant. I couldn't stay still for like 2 seconds to take a picture of a fish out there because I was just getting thwacked in the face. My face is still itchy. That was extremely rough, but that's okay. Tomorrow we will head towards Vermont, the New York-Vermont border, and try to catch some rare darters. Maybe we get a lake chub too. We see what we can do. We'll maybe work the sucker back into it. I'll have to workshop now that I can tell my friend, hey, that fish that you said was really easy, I spent 2 hours there and didn't even see it probably. Then he can give me more specific advice on how to get it rather than just saying it's easy. Then maybe I'll have a chance. We'll see. See you tomorrow. All right, so I'm almost at tonight's spot, but as I was driving down this little back road, I saw a friend. Hello, sir. How are you today? On the side of the road. Did you just get done laying your eggs and now you're on your way back to the water? Hello. You're quite pretty. I think you're invasive, but you're quite pretty. Anyways, I'm almost at the spot where I'm going to park. The river doesn't look so fun. Though I will say the more like riffly sections where there's good flow did look shallow enough that I could get in there. Hopefully nab the darters, but yeah, wow. Visibility is about, I don't know, 4 inches max. So this could be rough, but we'll figure it out. Okay, I moved this log for funsies. And check this guy out. Oh no, don't jump away. Look. That's a big toad. Holy crap, that's a big toad. That might be the biggest toad I've ever seen. I'm just looking for bugs right now, and then once I get ready, I'll find a way into the river and see what I can make happen before it gets dark. Honestly, I don't think it being dark is going to be a necessity here because there's zero visibility, so it doesn't matter whether it's dark or light outside. I'm not going to be able to see shit anyways, so might as well just make the most of it. Well, first things first, I tried netting the little sewer drain there. And normally I use the word sewer as sort of like a catch-all for those type of pipes, but that actually smelt like it was a sewer drain. But believe it or not, there's still a guy living in it. A nice largemouth bass. New species for the trip, not too bad. I tried crossing. I think I could get all the way across. It's actually not as deep as it looks for how wide it is. It's just a matter of I can't see anything, so I have to be very careful as I go across. But it's not too bad. So I'm gonna try to get to an area with some flow and see if I can't net some of the darters I'm looking for. Okay, I'm severely regretting not parking where I saw the riffles. I'm also being attacked by flies, which is unsurprising. I'm severely regretting not parking where I saw the riffles because I was like, oh, I'll just walk to where they were. But it turns out where I parked, it's like a mile And it's like 85 degrees today. And I'm wearing long sleeve and waders. And I've probably been walking about a mile now. But, you know, it is what it is. I'll find flow eventually. And then I will find some cool darters. And I'll forget this ever happened. Oh, flow. Okay. How flowy is this? Side note, I've run into like 3 people so far that have just driven past me as I'm walking on this road. And they've all been incredibly kind. Just wanted to say that. I'm on like the Vermont-New York border, so I'm kind of, I guess, probably meeting people from both states, but most of the license plates I saw were Vermont. And everyone was really nice. People passed me in a truck that said like Bigfoot or Sasquatch watchers or something on it, so I think they may have been out in the woods hunting Sasquatch, but he asked me if I had any luck and told me to be safe. So very nice people. Shout out to the Vermont people. Okay, so veritably these are the riffles that I saw on my way in. As I drove past them, they didn't look deeper than, I don't know, a couple feet, if that, probably like 2 feet at the deepest. Hopefully that remains true. I'm not sure how I'm gonna exactly get down to them, but my guess is this is my best bet if I want to catch some darters, because this is looking high today. If not, we will just we'll move on to the next spot. It did rain a little bit, but to be honest with you, it like barely rained for like 5 minutes. So I really did not expect this level of height. But my friend did warn me that this river is extremely weird and gets like randomly very high and randomly very low. So I suppose I was prepared for it. We'll see what we can do. Well, by no means would I call this a success, but at the very least, catching a darter in here is a good thing. It's a tessellated darter, but oh well. It's not exactly like I'm working with ideal conditions here, so take what we can get. Now let's just pull a channel or a sand darter out. Well, this has ostensibly been a failure. This creek is incredibly difficult to net at the current height that it's at. I tried my best in like a lot of the spots, obviously got into the mud. As you can clearly see, I look like I just came out of the charcoal mines. But yeah, no, didn't quite work out, alas. I'll try a few more spots because I have to walk 2 miles back to my car now. So I'll try a few spots on the way there. If not, we're heading to Lake Chubb. Let me just get a damn lifer. When the sun goes down and I'm at the right lake, hopefully I should be able to catch a Lake Chubb pretty easily. They tend to sit in the shallows. If that fails, oh, who knows? This trip has been rough, but we power on. We're optimistic, even though we work in the coal mines. Hello. I don't know what I did, but I think God is angry at me today. I just saw an indigo bunting, which is a really pretty cool bird in a perfect position to photograph up in a tree. And as I went to pull out my camera, I dropped my net and scared it, so it flew away. So I'll just go fuck myself. It's been a great day. It was bright purple. It was at the top of an empty dead tree directly above me. I would have taken fucking National Geographic photo of the year. But I went, dropped my net on the ground, flew away. There's a great blue heron in the background. At least I'm seeing some birds, I guess. If no fish, it's a birding trip. Also, I just had a thought. By the way, I turned the camera around so you can stop looking at my dumb face and look at least a pretty view as the sun sets here on that cliffside. Anyways, I just had the thought that this would be the ideal conditions for a seine. There is like no more perfect conditions for a seine. It is wadeable the whole way across. There are nothing for it to catch on. There's no like rocks or anything. It's like a sandy, stable bottom. There's banks to pull the net up onto. This would be absolutely flawless for seining. If only seining wasn't a 2-man job and I was a 1-man alone in a field. We would pull up all of the darters right away, probably. Oh well. Well, hi there. Two-tail number 2. Check it out. It's a snapper. I assume just a common snapping turtle. Everyone's out of the water right now. I wonder if there's a reason for that or if it's just egg laying season or what, but she's not mad at me. Or she is mad at me, sorry. She wants to bite my fingers off, so I'm going to leave her alone, but I thought that was a pretty cool encounter. I see snapping turtles pretty often when I'm fishing. They tend to be under like root logs and such like that I end up trying to fish under. They don't harm me, I don't harm them. We have a nice relationship. I hope she has a wonderful life. Okay, well I found this little pull-off, and at the very least, I will take an emerald shiner from this little section here. It had some riffle to it. I'm gonna try netting through this pool. I don't know, maybe some darters moved up here for some reason and got caught. Who knows? Crazier things have happened. I'm just driving along this random gravel road, so I figured I might as well try. All right, I went downstream a bit, which I don't know why I thought it would be better, but I had another pin, why not? But it's the same shite. It's just, it's blown out. There's no riffles for me to find anything at. So I'm gonna head straight to the Lake Chub. I'm gonna be honest, I need a win, and Lake Chub are seeming like my most likely thing that I'll find. So I'm just gonna head straight for them, hope for the best. I was gonna stay here for a few minutes and just see if I could catch something, but there was some couple like waiting out in the water having an angry dispute about their child, and honestly it was just painful and embarrassing to listen to, especially to like do that shit in public as they like loudly cursed at each other. So I figured I'll leave them to their quarrel and I will go about my day. So I've got about an hour drive to Lake Chub, and then hopefully we can get our first lifer of this trip. My God, otherwise this is like, I don't know, the trip is cursed by a witch or something. There's no other explanation. All right, so I'm still about 35 minutes from the Lake Chub, but I saw this nice creek on my way. It looked real nice, at least, who knows? That was a couple miles back. I couldn't find a pull-off for a while, but it looked beautiful, so I thought I'd give it a try. Why not? It looks like it could have long-nosed sucker in it. They're certainly around, and this looks like the type of creek. Who knows? Or maybe I'll catch something else. I don't know. Half the fun of these kind of trips is taking spontaneous spots and finding new places that aren't online. So that's the goal. This is what it looks like, by the way. It's very pretty, just nice and rocky. I don't know, it looks like it could be a good sucker creek. And as with every creek, you might see there are a bunch of black-nosed dace absolutely everywhere. This is nothing new. These type of creeks are always loaded with dace. And there's the unsurprising longnose. So both dace successfully caught. I'll give a few pools a try real quick. I don't want to spend too much time here, but I don't know, it just looks like a nice habitat. I'll give maybe that big pool down there where it's not flowing as fast a try, and then I'll see if a sucker comes up. If not, we move on. Sally, almost an adult. Very pretty, just chilling in the waves here. Vibing. Dude, there's a whole concert of frogs or toads over here, and I see their eyes reflecting back at me. You guys see all their eyes? Oh my God, there's so many frogs and toads. Wait, what are these? Why are there so many? Hello. Mind if I crash the orgy? Toads. What are you guys doing? Wow, you guys are pretty. Shout out to the haters who say that toads aren't aquatic. Bro said, say it to my face. Holy crap. These are baby tadpoles. So the toads have had their babies. And there's a lot of them. Jesus. Yeah, the mom's mad at me. There's also a barred owl calling. If you listen to somewhere in the background. Hey guys. Anyone know where to find a salamander? I'm new to this. Anyways, Eastern newt. Alrighty. It is a lovely spring night. I have arrived at the pond. There's fog coming off of it everywhere. And I will say, going into this trip, this was the fish that I thought was the most probable for me. From what I've heard, in the places where these fish are, they're incredibly abundant. So if I can't find a lake chub, I guess I'm just cursed for this trip. I see a sunfish and something else moving around, crayfish of some variety. Well, there looks like a good variety of habitat here, so I guess I'll just search around with my light until I see something minnow-like. Okay, first fish here is a long-nosed dace, which makes sense given that this is like a tiny creek that they dammed to create this big pond here. But I do see tons of minnows going around that are not long-nosed dace, so hopefully that means we can find something else. Believers, I believe it is time to rejoice. I saw something enter my net that was certainly not dace-like. Oh boy. Da-da-da-da! Lake chub. I've never actually seen one before, so I can't be 100% sure, but it's got that old world, whatever that dace group, minnow group is called, where it kind of looks like a creek chub and kind of looks like a pearl dace. So I'm pretty sure that that is, in fact, a lake chub. I'll try to catch a bigger, better one, but at least we got a lifer, man. Thank God. Saw something swimming a little odd, so I grabbed it, and it's a golden shiner. So we're already at like, what, 5 different fish species in this little lake that is supposed to be a creek. Not bad. I haven't caught more lake chub, though. I want a bigger one. Jesus, bro. Talk about a frog. That's a bullfrog. Ooh. I don't know why that scared me. Like, I didn't expect him to jump. I wasn't even going to touch him. I was just putting my hand next to him for size comparison. And then it scared me for some reason when he jumped. I'm an idiot. Whatever. Okay, this worries me slightly because I'm catching fathead minnows. That's a fathead minnow. So I'm gonna have to look back in the footage and make sure that the lake chub was not in fact a fathead minnow, which would be the ultimate curse if I had thought I got a lifer and it turned out to be a fucking fathead minnow. Oh sure, let's make it a little bit more complicated and add, what is that, fine scale dace? One of the chrysomis into the mix. That's great. Thank you to this lake for all of the diversity. Ew, check this out. Free swimming leech. Yuck. Okay, I have bad news and good news. I am pretty sure that the fish I caught earlier and said was a lake chub was in fact a fathead minnow, and thus I did not catch a lake chub. But the good news is this time I actually caught a lake chub. For real, for real. That ain't no fathead minnow. This pond actually had ridiculous diversity. What did I catch? Like 8 or 9 species, a bunch of them being shiners. And I didn't even get any game species. Like, I'm sure there's a shitload of sunfish and trout and bass and such in here as well. So, pretty cool lake that I came across here. Thank you to the recommendation. I guess that's it for tonight. Frankly, it's already getting close to my bedtime, and I have a 2-hour drive home. And by home, I mean to the hotel, and then I have to wake up early again for the main reason that I'm here up in Albany. But this was a good night. I think maybe tomorrow I either go back for the long-nosed sucker, or I drive straight north and go for a trout perch, or I drive... Jesus, that frog scared me. Or I drive straight west and go for something over there. I don't know. I'll figure out the itinerary, see how I'm feeling, but I am happy to have gotten a lifer. Finally, at least. I'm so glad that I didn't leave after catching that fathead minnow. If I had driven into fucking rural Vermont in the middle of the night, lost a bunch of sleep, and then left and came home and found out the next day that that was a fathead minnow and not a lake chub, whew, that's a real rough day and a rough trip. So glad to get a guaranteed lifer. Now, everything else is a bonus. The darters clearly are not going to happen, so the most realistic thing at this point seems to be a long-nosed sucker. So we'll see. I'll plan for tomorrow, and I will see you then. All right, it is the next day, and I have arrived at my destination. All right, this is the last fishing we will be doing this trip. So, I thought about what I wanted to potentially do up in upstate New York, and from what I could gather with the rain and everything, it was going to be too much of a pain to find any of the other spots that I had on sort of the west side of New York. It was just going to be crazy out of the way drive, and honestly, I was a little homesick and tired. So I figured I'll head home and I'll hit something on the way home. So I am here at this place called Jennings Brook, which is in North Jersey, right on the New Jersey-New York border. And I had heard that this place had a population of a rare shiner called a bridal shiner, my favorite fish. So I wanted to check it out. But when I came here in the winter with my friend Mark, it was really cold and we were not able to find anything relevant whatsoever because it was like snow and ice covered, and I never even made my way up to the marsh. So today I'm going to make my way up to the marsh, see if I can find the rare fish, and end this AVNJ's adventures with hopefully a cute little bridal shiner. All right, so I had to wade across a bigger creek to get here. This creek's pretty damn high right now with the rain and the storms. But as you can see, there's a bunch of vegetation that sort of creeps its way into the water. So the marsh is sort of like right up the waterfall there. I never actually got to it last time I was here. So I'm just gonna try to net through the vegetation, make my way to the marsh, hope for the best. All right, well, I'm getting absolutely obliterated by mosquitoes right now, but at least I caught a fish. Looks like a yellow bullhead. Catfish. It's rare we catch catfish on AVNJ's Adventures, so treasure this moment. Oh, it really do be newt season right now, huh? Everywhere I go, I be seeing these newts. You ain't new to me. Now that is a crayfish with a patterning that I have never seen before. And I've seen a lot of NJ crayfish. But that like perfectly black block down the side is great. So pretty. Well, I would say I have reached the Headwaters Marsh, and I can definitely see how bridal shiner would like this. It seems like an environment where I've found them before and like they would thrive. But my God, is it tough to net in on account of depth and marshiness, and also I'm just being eaten alive by mosquitoes. I will say, and this won't make any sense to anyone, this feels like somewhere I'd get attacked by a shark. Now this doesn't make sense because it's like, it is murky waters, but it's completely freshwater. I'm far inland, I'm in a freshwater marsh. But for some reason, as I walk through this, my brain is like, oh yeah, there's a shark coming for you. So that's just a fun little survival fight or flight. Oh my God, I sink so much. Fight or flight instinct I'm dealing with here. Thought you guys would enjoy that knowledge. I don't know if I'm gonna find a bridal during the day. I think maybe at nighttime, this spot could work pretty well. There's a lot of like weird varying depths and pools, and this is so much bigger than I thought it was going to be. So I think it might be more difficult than I thought, but I could definitely see them being here. I would not be surprised at all now that I've seen this place if they were here. Well, I suppose my reward for walking through the marsh, other than the couple of cool bugs I've found, which I'm not too mad about. Look at this, by the way. Isn't this picturesque? Is this beauty right here, which is just a gorgeous flower. Let me turn the camera around. Camera. Check her out. Looks like there's a bunch of them about to bloom. I have no idea what this is. I'm terrible with plants. I want to learn, but at the moment I'm not good. So if anyone wants to tell me what beautiful plant that is, go ahead. Okay, actually, never mind. I may have solved the case. I think on this stem right here, I see that's an iris weevil right there. That's an iris weevil. So, focus. Focus on the iris weevil. Focus. Gah, the camera's not focusing, but that bug on that stem right there is an iris weevil. So I bet that this is a bunch of irises then, because there's an iris weevil on it. Good conclusion. You guys might like this though. Giant millipede. Check him out. Holy shit, he's freaking out. He's so pretty. And a friend who thinks he can climb a tree. You go for it, buddy. Holy shit, he can. Holy shit. Did he just. You can do that? I was making fun of him. Well, now I gotta know. Well, continue, buddy. We're all watching eagerly. What the hell? Bro climbed the tree. Oh, he's losing his grip. Oh, he ain't gonna stay on there long. Look at that. And his front right arm is slipping. I don't know that Mr. Toad is going to be able to maintain that grip very long. Let's get the top down. Holy show! No! Alrighty, and with that funny Toad moment, we are now home from upstate New York, back home sweet home with my beautiful, lovely cat, Mala. Say hi, Mala. Say goodbye to the people. Thank you for watching this AVNJ's Adventures. Have a wonderful day.